Hello, and welcome to the legal environment of business. I'm your Professor John Harvey, and I'm not sure, I think we're in week 10. With this cold, it would kind of knock me for a loop there. So I know this week you're working on chapters 18 and 19, and we're going to talk about those. I am going to keep the video short because my throat is still struggling a little bit, and still kind of recovering from the cold, but thank you for the warm wishes and the quick recovery that everyone sent. Those were nice messages. Appreciate it. So chapter 18, we're talking about agency law. And an agency is just kind of what you'd think about, like a real estate agent. It's somebody who works on behalf of someone else or represents them. And so this happens all the time, when you're an employee of a company and you've got like an employee shirt and you're manning the booth or whatever, you're representing that company, so that you're an agent of that company. And so in the discussion board, I kind of have a weird one. It's kind of a little side note or something like that, but it did actually come up as a real life kind of issue. I did have a friend who was doing a bunch of work for a company, and it's like, at what point do you start to represent the company? At what point are you actually an employee versus not an employee? So that's kind of what that discussion board's about, because it was a kind of a real situation there. So agency is an interesting one. This is also something that has some different guidelines per state, and so this can be a little tricky. I was thinking about the guy pumping gas in Oregon. It's like that guy's getting paid to touch other people's vehicles, and he's representing the gas station. But that's kind of an interesting, like, yeah, he's an employee, so he's there, but he's also kind of touching your car and stuff. So that's anyway, the interesting one. But agency, the easiest one to think about is a realtor, right? Someone who is working on behalf of you, that can communicate deals and information, and even do work on your behalf, right? So that's what chapter 18 is about. Chapter 19 is kind of one of the sad chapters. We're going to talk about discrimination. Maybe it's a happy chapter. Maybe all these laws are there to protect us and help everyone get along. You would hope that we can help people, not by not breaking the law, but by rising above that and doing the right thing and doing good stuff. So anyway, chapter 19 is on discrimination, and so all the kind of laws and rules that we have about that. So interesting stuff, and definitely something to think about. Again, my disclaimer with all of this is that we're giving you an understanding of the law. We're giving you some context and some framework to kind of understand all the different pieces within business and how law represents that stuff. The practical application of this stuff, this is helping when to call a lawyer, when to actually, call for help. Okay, I think this is a real legal issue that needs to be addressed. That's kind of what we're trying to do here. To give you some framework so when you do talk to a lawyer, you can sound reasonable and say, hey, now wait a second, isn't this a tort? And yada yada. We're giving you that framework. But don't think you're Joe lawyer because you've gone through this course. If this is of interest, I mean, people get degrees in law for a reason. It's because they find this stuff fascinating and challenging and exciting. So if you're interested, there are a lot more law classes that you'll be able to take as you continue through your education. So bear that in mind, that this is a good overview, and if you like it, there's more you can get into on that. All right, guys, with that, have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. All right.